about in change, because change is the law of life. And he said this: the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. And that's what I was telling you. This is going to be a lot more of unlearning than learning. So bear with me. Now, I'd like to express my own gratitude first to teachers from the East, from the West, who taught from their hearts. I was someone who was so full of questions, and life was not making sense at many points in time. And sometimes you just say, okay, don't bother, never mind. That's the way it is. The majority are thinking like that, so maybe I'm wrong by thinking differently. But then when life stopped making sense after many, many, many years, maybe when I was at midlife, and that's why I think a lot of women go through midlife crisis. Actually, it's not a crisis, it's an awakening. But we've never been taught these things. And I also express my gratitude to my father. He's been my first hero. He loved me the most out of three siblings. It was always like listening to me and not listening to the other two. So I was very fortunate in that aspect. My teacher, like I said, I was full of questions. And somehow she managed to give me the answers to the best of her ability. And her superpower is her leadership style, which was something that really, really inspired me. Now, one of my parents overprotected me, though he loved me, but to the point of overprotection, trying to protect me from everything. Don't get it, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. Whereas the other one always challenged me. You can do it. If you want to do it, you can do it. What makes you think you cannot do it? So between the two, I got very confused growing up. And I was a dreamer. I was a real dreamer from childhood, and I think I get that from my mom. So your dreams actually they become unstoppable when winning is your superpower. I used to always feel I can do anything I want. It was always like that. And my core belief was that God is my best friend. I used to think like that from childhood because I was manifesting so many things in my life and I didn't know how I was doing it. So I used to think God is my best friend. And I personally believe that we can conquer the world just with love, kindness, and compassion. And I think all of you who are here today, you are all people who are very, very much compassionate, kind, and loving. Why I know that? Because I attract only people like that. Mostly all the people who I've been attracting are like that. So I know you are all like that. And all of us are capable of this. So now when I say God was my best friend, I used to manifest easily. What does that mean? It means that I was an unconscious competent to the law of attraction. I was attracting things, I was manifesting things, but I did not know how I was doing it. If somebody would have asked me how, I would just say, I'm lucky or God listens to me. How I don't know. I just felt that way. So I was an unconscious competent to the law of attraction. And it's only when I read the book The Secret. How many of you here have read the book The Secret by Rhonda Byrne? Anyone? Anybody has read the book? You can put it in the comments in the chat. Sorry, I'm going to read. Yeah, part of it. Okay, that's great. So basically, all of you, some of you who have read it, you kind of understand a little bit of what I'm saying. That there is something that is greater than us that can help us get whatever we want in life. All right. Now, sorry, there are some people in the meeting. Just let them. I don't know where my team members have gone. Okay. So now this was a bit of my life. I am not someone who's born a coach. I must tell you that from now. It's my life's experiences that have led me to become a coach because I discovered my purpose in life to teach this information to the world. And how do I teach it? By becoming a coach. What is a coach? What is a mentor? I did not have clues before I myself invested in one, because all I had heard was of teacher. In my time, I'm 50 plus years old now. So we were conditioned to the word teacher. We were not conditioned to the word coach and mentors and all. So I was about 23 when I got married, and I got married and went to the Philippines. I'm from Mauritius, but I attracted my husband online, and we fell in love online, and then we met physically in India, and I got married and went to the Philippines. Now, let me tell you something. Prior to moving there, I had once visited the Philippines when I was about 18 years old. When I was leaving that country at the airport, I said to myself, God, I never ever want to come back to this country. I didn't like that place. So everything I used to say I want and everything I used to say I don't want, both used to manifest. 5 years later, I find myself married over there. So I remember my husband asked me, is there anything I need to know about you that we didn't discuss online? And I said, yeah, you need to know that when I think of something, it happens. And he was like, what? I said, yeah, it happens. I don't know how, but it happens. But then again, after 8 years of being in the Philippines, my two children were born there. That's the older one, that's the younger one. And for me, to tell you honestly, my first priority has, is, and will always be my family. So, but after 8 years, my husband suddenly decided, let's go to your country. It's such a beautiful country. I am done over here. I don't want to live in the Philippines anymore. I want to go and retire. And he was just 28 years old. But somehow he's a very good salesperson and he convinced me. I didn't want to come back to my own country, honestly. But then somehow I said, Mauritius is beautiful. I grew up here. I had a very happy childhood. So let me go. And we opened this shop. Maybe many of you who are in Mauritius may know that I'm the managing director of Island Kids Shops over here. It's a shop for babies and children. I always had an affinity towards kids somehow. I don't know why, but I had. Prior to moving over there in the Philippines, I was there for 8 years. Even over there, I had uh, an incident in my life. The first time that I felt that I got a flu, like God hurt my feelings, is when my second baby was born, and the doctors came and said, we need blood to save his life. It was a bit of a traumatic experience, and I needed to. The, the question was, how did I attract that? Because I didn't think something like that would happen. So somebody told me, why don't you go and study the scriptures? You'll get a lot of answers from it. And I did. I went to study the scriptures. For 4 years, I studied the Hindu scriptures, the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, and everything. I got a lot of answers. It was really a slap on the face. What were you thinking about life? So I got lots of answers from the scriptures, but after 4 years of studying, there was a missing link I could not understand. And that's when my husband was saying, let's move to Mauritius. And we moved here. That's my oldest son on the right. He was 7 years old. And I had a very traumatic experience putting them in school over here. Because his teacher had slapped him a few times just because he wanted to give her a rose. And the rose day was cancelled, so he gave her a 10 rupee coin instead because the school had returned that money to them. And he came home that day so traumatized. He refused to go to school the next day. And I didn't know what was happening. I was getting upset at him for not wanting to go to school. But when I saw him nauseating, I knew something was wrong. So I took him to a doctor, and the doctor said that the school is stressing him out. Change the school. Go and do an ultrasound of his stomach also, which I did. There was no findings, thank God, but they did change the school. The doctor said to change his school, and I was like, how can a school stress a child of 7 years old? Because he was already in school in the Philippines and everything was good there. So what happened? So I was very angry when this happened. I had never raised my declaration that they made, that I'm going to become the Prime Minister of my country and I'm going to change the whole education system. Now, if you understand the laws of the universe, when somebody says something with so much power from the heart, you've already sent a big vibration into the universe. I didn't know what I was doing, honestly. I just declared that because in a state of anger. Now, this is your first lesson for today, and you want to write this down. You want to be mindful of your self talk. It is a conversation with the universe. You may think that nobody is listening to you, but whatever you say, you may not have even said it. You may have just thought it from your heart, and with so much of emotion, you've already sent out a vibration into the universe. And that vibration will start to work its way to come back into your life. So basically, what happened is after I said that, my life started going on a downhill. Many things happened. I don't ask how many challenges I faced, but I faced lots of challenges which broke me down completely. And then I had to go and study how to come out of it. And that's when I studied the science behind manifestation, how I was attracting everything I was attracting, what was happening, right? And that's when today I'm a conscious competent to the law of attraction. Means I consciously think of what I want and I manifest it. And that's what I'm teaching to everyone who's ready. Not everybody is ready for this information. I'm telling you, it's not information for everyone. That's why if you are here today, it's because you are meant to be here. So congratulations for you being here, because you could have been anywhere, but you decided to invest in an education that can transform your life. So 7 years after, I took a stock of my results. And I want all of you to do this exercise right now. If you have pen and paper right now in front of you, you want to take an honest look at your results. Take a look at these four areas are mostly where all of us want results: your health, your wealth, and your happiness. And happiness is your relationships and also your career. Are you happy with the job that you're doing or the business you're in? Are you happy? All right. So I'm going to give all of you 2 minutes. If you can just take a pen and paper and write down on a scale of 1 to 10 where you are, where are your results. And you don't have to tell me, and it's just for you to become aware of where you are with respect to all these areas in your life. 2 minutes are enough? Okay, I'm checking it out. Just for those who have just joined, take a pen and paper and uh, write down your results on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. If you have questions, please leave them in the. Oh, okay, there are waiting room participants. Okay, so everybody's done. Give me a thumbs up or a yes in the chat. Yes, yes, good. We know our results, right? All we need to do is be honest with ourselves. That's it. Okay, so let me tell you where I was after 7 years. All I had, my wealth was positive, my health had spiraled very negatively, and even my happiness, I didn't know where my happiness had gone. I was like looking for it everywhere. Okay, let me see the chat. There's some messages. Yes, yes, good, good. It's important for you to know where you are. That's all. Okay, like I'm telling you my results after 7 years of making that declaration. I was like literally, I started spiraling badly. What's this? Ah, okay, good. It's good to know. It's good to know your results. We should always be checking our results. But I want to tell you one thing right now. Understand that results are only feedback. They are only feedback. That's it. We can change them. Okay? No matter where you are in life, you can change your results. The day you make a decision to change them, you can start changing them. And that's why I'm here. So my wealth was positive. I have always been provided for. I always had the belief that I'm going to be provided for. So I was well provided for. Financially, I was okay. But my health was spiraling very negatively. I developed so many illnesses. My happiness was gone. When you don't have health, you don't have anything. Trust me on that. You don't have anything at that time. So now, who who do we think when we are suffering? Do we think? Who do we look up to when we are suffering? Anyone? Who do we look up to? Mostly
God. God.
God. So I was doing the same thing. I was praying. I was looking for an answer to all my problems. And until I did not literally kneel and surrender, God was not showing me the way. But I'll tell you one thing, the universe is always guiding you to where you have to be. But it's like the universe is always, the answers are always here. But we are so down in our suffering, we don't see that the answer is right in front of us many times. So when I literally prayed from my heart for a solution to my problems, two things happened. I started attracting the videos of Sadhguru. Maybe most of you have heard of Sadhguru. Sadhguru is a teacher also. You can look him up online. But what I learned from Sadhguru at that time, he said, man has discovered all kind of technologies in the world. But does he know his own technology? How powerful he is? And I thought to myself at that time, that's actually true. We have made all kinds of things like rockets and everything. Do we know who we are? Do I know who I am? And at that time, I thought, no, I want to know who I am. And he had a course called Inner Engineering. So I invested in that course. I think I didn't really get any result by listening to him. It was not information I didn't know. It was not knowledge I didn't know. But he said, if you did not get any results, I'm giving you a meditation, practice it. You will get results. And the meditation was just a 16 minutes chanting Om. And because I was always busy, which most of us are, I thought 16 minutes is not so long time. So I did that work. And I tell you one thing, it took me 3 years, 3 years of every day chanting Om until I realized that my mind had calmed down. Because for 7 years I was spiraling, spiraling, spiraling. Life had as if turned against me. I don't know, I was very irritable. That's why my hair was going bad. And I meditated for 3 years. And after that, I started attracting mentors who were teaching the truth. And that's the wisdom that set me free from my suffering. In 2 months, but I had to invest. No matter how many YouTube videos I was watching, it was not helping me. Until I did not invest in an education with a mentor, the mentor called Bob Proctor, who was featured in The Secret, nothing changed in my life. I am so grateful for that person because he did not just tell me how to change my life, he showed me. He took my hand from here to there, and that's the hand that helped me come up in life. Once you hit rock bottom, the only way to go is up, but you have to have the faith that you will not give up on life. So, here I would like to share something. For me today, oh, why is this? Yeah, I wrote this quotation. It's my own quotation. I say that the true purpose of having a goal is to grow, to help you acquire knowledge that can help you achieve a breakthrough. See, we all know everything, but the breakthrough doesn't come from just knowing. The breakthrough comes from the experience that you go through, and then you know. Then you know. Then nobody can ever tell you that you don't know. Then you know because you experienced it. It's exactly like I tell somebody, you should learn driving. Oh, driving is like this. You sit in a car, you put gear one, gear two, and all that. But until that person doesn't go through the experience of driving, he hasn't learned driving, right? So it's exactly the same. If you want results in your life that you want to achieve, you have to go through the experience of understanding how to manifest. Okay, so now it starts with a committed decision. I was watching all the YouTube videos, but until I did not make that committed decision to find my happiness back, nothing changed. And the day I made that decision, that's the day I attracted purple. And this is another thing you want to write this down. Once you make a committed decision or a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. Everything is happening by law in this whole world, in this whole universe. It's just so, it's just so, maybe I should say, I don't know if I should say unfortunate, but it's just that this education has been kept secret for so long that people are still struggling unnecessarily. You know, all we need to do is educate ourselves in like taking this education that works in harmony with the laws of the universe because I'm a living proof of it. And there are many forms of study, but what I went through is what I can teach others because I got the results I want. I cannot tell you that day when I took back control of my life, what it what that experience was. It was like this. So this education that I'm sharing with you today, it comes from Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie was a philanthropist who had made all the money he had in the world, and he in his mind he was thinking it's not difficult to become rich. It's not necessary for people to struggle in life, and there are laws that govern success. And he was looking for someone who could compile all these laws and write a book for him. So one day, this man on the right, Napoleon Hill, came to interview him because he was a steel magnate, philanthropist, doing so much for the world, setting up museums, setting up this, the Carnegie Hall, the Carnegie Museum, the Carnegie this. So he was famous, and people would interview him. After the interview by Napoleon Hill, he told Napoleon, "This interview is not over. I want you to come home with me." And when Napoleon went home, Napoleon was a simple journalist. Andrew Carnegie told him that I'm looking for someone who can write a book on the laws of success, on the principles of success. I cannot pay any compensation for that. All I can give is 500 letters of introduction to the most successful people in the world. Go and interview them and come up with a book of the laws of success. Are you willing to take this job, Napoleon? And I don't know how long it's going to take, and I won't be able to pay you anything, any compensation. Are you willing to do this? And Napoleon replied in less than 30 seconds, yes. Now, this is another thing I should have put here. It's successful people make decisions fast and change them slowly if ever they have to change them. So we want to understand that Napoleon at that time was not a rich man. He had a brother who he was paying the tuition for his brother at university or college. He had his own financial obligations, and here is Andrew Carnegie telling him to dedicate his life to writing this book, and he's not going to get any compensation for doing that. And yet he said yes, and that's a sign of a successful person who says, "I will do something," without even knowing how he's going to do it. And then in hindsight, then he goes and says, "Okay, now how can I?" And the way will be shown. So this is like a risk taking, and if you're an entrepreneur, you're a risk taker. You don't have to know how things are going to manifest. You just know they're going to manifest because entrepreneurship is in your blood. Like I am born from a lineage of entrepreneurs, all sides of my family, mother, father, grandparents, all sides. So I'm born in that environment, and there are many of you who are like that, born in an environment where everybody's in business, right? But somehow I was never interested in working in a shop, which unfortunately I came back to do. My father had a shop, then I came back, I saw myself going into a shop. But I like to serve people, I like to teach. And when I started studying this material, it resonated so much with me because this person was also he was an entrepreneur, into business. Now he said, I want to share the wisdom of success with the world. And this book the first book that Napoleon Hill wrote was called The Laws of Success. It's the philosophy of achievement by Andrew Carnegie and Napoleon Hill. Like it's a mastermind. Both of them came together to create. All right. Now, if Andrew Carnegie was able to create 6, 7 millionaires in his life based on his teachings, Napoleon Hill, just with his book, was able to create millions of millionaires. And after Laws of Success came the book, which is more famously known by everyone knows this book called Think and Grow Rich. So that's the book that is still number one, I think, in the personal growth industry, personal development and growth industry. Now, when Andrew Carnegie was telling Napoleon to write this book, and Napoleon said yes, then Napoleon told Andrew Carnegie, I think you chose the wrong man to do this book because I'm not rich. How can I write a book like that? So that's the time Andrew Carnegie gave him such a wisdom that for me, when I heard that, and I'm telling you, what I'm teaching to you right now, it's something I learned from a YouTube video. Because in the beginning, I was just looking at YouTube to try to get out of my state. And it's a video by Napoleon Hill who shares what Andrew Carnegie told him. He said, Andrew Carnegie told him, Napoleon, there are 6 riches of life, and everyone is born with 2 envelopes, the equivalent of 2 envelopes. One labeled riches and the other labeled penalties. And he said, the one who fails to take control of his mind will open the envelope of penalties. Whereas, and these are the penalties a person must pay for not being in control of his mind: ill health, fears and worries, indecisions and doubts, frustration and discouragement throughout life, poverty and want, and a whole flock of evils: envy, greed, anger, superstition, jealousy, etc. etc. And I must tell you, at that time when I was listening to this video, I think I had all of this going on for me. I was like literally paying penalties. But the one who takes control of his mind will open the envelope of riches. And the riches you may enjoy: sound health, peace of mind, a positive attitude in life, self confidence, doing work that you love, an abundance of wealth of any amount you want. I think at that time, the most important thing for me was sound health and peace of mind. which was nowhere to be seen. And I already had wealth. So then, when I started to teach this knowledge, I started to think, how can I help people to get this knowledge, right? So then I said, why not teach them how to earn more money? Because nobody should be living in poverty. Now that we know, we just have to take control of the mind. Why should somebody suffer, right? So, for the sake of this challenge, also, I'm going to be talking about your income, the income you desire to achieve. Because I'll tell you one thing, this is one thing I have realized. Everybody wants it. Even a millionaire wants to make billions. There's no end to this. All right? And it's not a bad thing to want to make more money, but it's what you do with the money that is going to make you grow further or not. How are you using your money? Are you using it just for yourself, for your own benefits? Are you using it for the benefit of mankind? What are you using it for? So, in the beginning, when I started teaching this, then I started to realize that, uh, how do I say this? To earning money is not difficult, but there are means to earn money, and if we don't earn it by law, we are going to lose it. So this is why I said now I'm going to make this as a challenge and I'm going to explain exactly what it is to earn money in a way that sticks with you. Alright? Because I realized one thing. All the problems in life that people are suffering, the majority, the cause is lack of money. People don't really want more money. Basically, they just want either an increase in their income or they want not to have to worry about money, not to want to work for money. They just want to relax and enjoy life. And that's where I was. I was so tired of being in that state. So now if I ask you this question, very, very dumb question. Which envelope would you like to open? Let me hear your comments. Anyone? Yeah, in engineering, yeah, sure. Riches, obviously. Anybody over here will tell me, no, I want to open the envelope of penalties. No, right? I know it's a very dumb question. Nobody wants penalties. But then I'm sure most of us are going through some kind of penalty or the other. And this is why I'm here to bring you this education so that you can break free from that. You can, at least today, with this challenge, I'm going to give you the roadmap. Walking that road, I cannot do it. Only you can walk it. But I can show you the path that worked for me. So now, the truth. When Napoleon Hill told Andrew Carnegie, when Andrew Carnegie gave Napoleon Hill this lesson, and then Napoleon said, okay. So then he told Napoleon, I know you're not going to believe that you're rich right now, though you are. We are all rich. Everyone is born rich. So I'm going to give you something that I want you to read every day until you believe that you are rich. And he gave him a prayer. No, I think he didn't give him the prayer. He told Napoleon Hill, I want you to look in the mirror every day and challenge me. Challenge Andrew Carnegie. So when you're going to look in the mirror every day, you're going to say, Andrew Carnegie, I'm not only going to equal your achievements, I'm going to meet you at the post and pass you at the grandstand. And Napoleon Hill said, I cannot do something like that. How can I challenge you? You are the one, you are like big there, like a steel magnet and all. And Andrew Carnegie said, yeah, you will have a difficult time doing that right now because you're not seeing yourself as someone who's rich. You're seeing yourself as someone who's poor. But if you keep doing it, if you keep repeating this to yourself, eventually you will win. So write this down. Something that you keep repeating to yourself, you will believe it eventually. So you want to talk good things to yourself. Don't talk anything negative. Talk positive all the time. give a prayer that he started doing after Andrew Carnegie explained this thing to him. And this is a prayer that you can all write down. It says, "O divine providence, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom." Just give me a minute. "For more wisdom with which to make wiser use of the riches you gave me at birth, consisting in the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever ends I might desire." This is what worked for Napoleon Hill. And I'll tell you, when I was watching that video, I actually got pen and paper and wrote down this prayer. And I started saying it the very next day. I said it for a few days, and then, life gets busy and I forgot about it. But what you seek is also seeking you. I was seeking the truth. I was seeking to know what is the truth of life. That question has never left me, never used to leave me. Every time something would go wrong, I would question again. What's life all about? You know. And now, how do you take control of the mind? Anyone can tell me? Do you think it's an easy thing to do? I'd like to hear your responses to this. Is it easy? No. Why is it very difficult? Yachna says very difficult. Why is it difficult? Why is it not easy? Put it down. Sorry guys, my mother is giving me some infusion. She takes very good care of me. If we say we can control, we can. Yes. I cannot stop myself from imagining things. Imagine the good stuff. Imagine good things. If we think we can do, yes. Okay. Now, as I told you, I had also been studying the scriptures. So, taking control of your mind is in, I think, every scripture's teachings. Okay. Now, since I was studying the Upanishads, the Hindu scriptures, I got this verse from the Bhagavad Gita, where the Lord is saying, I don't teach anything religiously. Huh? Please don't get religious involved here. I teach everything scientifically. But then I take examples from the scriptures because everything I learned from the Western gurus or Western teachers, the whole Upanishad became straight in my head. Like I had already studied all that, and now it made sense. It's as if the missing link that was there when I was studying got completed by the wisdom of the West. All right. So it says here the mind is very restless, turbulent, strong, and obstinate. That is Arjuna who's talking to the Lord. Now let me just give you an insight of the whole story of the Bhagavad Gita. If anybody doesn't know yet, it's a war taking place in India very long back, where there are these four brothers. They are all warriors, and they have to go and fight their own brothers. So it's like a family war, which we see a lot today, right? So this is the story of you and me as well. Think of it like that, because there are always issues nowadays with families. That's why we are seeing a rise in divorce. We are seeing a rise in parents, children not getting along. So this actually can solve a lot of problems if you understand this. Because when the mighty warrior Arjuna, one on the side of good, was going to fight in the war, suddenly he became weak because he saw that, oh, those are not just my cousins who have done wrong. There's also my teacher over there. There's also my uncle over there. How can I kill them? And the mighty warrior suddenly became weak. He could not fight. And at that time, he called on to his friend, who actually is the Lord in disguise, and he asked his friend to guide him. In fact, he asked his friend to be his charioteer, and then it's the friend who's supposed to be the Lord, who is the Lord in another form, and he comes and explains to him that you are not killing evil, you are upholding righteousness. And when you are taking the side of righteousness, then anything in its way that is not righteousness has to go. So don't look at them as if they're your cousins or your uncle or your teachers. You have to do your duty as a warrior. You have been trained for this day. And now imagine God himself is telling someone to go and fight a war. Like, you've ever heard God say fight? We say God is good, God doesn't say to fight, right? So all these questions, they confuse children, And I was that child who was very confused with all these kind of teachings, that some things made sense, some things did not make sense. What is the truth? So finally, what I came to understand is we are not here to see evil, to listen to evil, or to speak evil. And this is represented by the three monkeys, which represents the mind, because the mind is very, very easy to get swayed into all these things, right? So to take control of not seeing evil, not speaking evil, not listening to evil is a challenge. I suppose I tell you, don't listen to the news today. Stop listening to the news. And you've been listening to the news for so many years, and the news is like negative. A lot of news is negative. This happened, that happened, plane crash, this, that. What are you feeding in your mind? Do you realize you are putting all that negative things coming from outside in your mind, and you're listening to things that are not, and you might tell me, but it's true, it's happened. Yes, it's happened. Is it serving you? I'll tell you one thing, I don't listen to the news since long, and still I get to hear the news from XYZ. People are ready to share negativity, but you have to learn how to control and filter things out. So Arjuna, the mighty warrior, faces the dilemma between duty and morality, because he has a duty towards his loved ones, but also the morality of being true to his profession. And this, I tell you, is not an easy thing to choose. It's not an easy decision to make. So now, when I was still figuring out all this and trying to, it plays on your emotions. How do you choose one from the other? Like, your family, you have attachment to your family. You have attachment to your children. You have attachment to your parents, your spouse, everything. And here I'm thinking that this knowledge is so nice, and I want to start teaching this, and I want to share this. And it plays on your emotions. How can you do that? And while trying to figure out my way, I got so, how do I say this? Exhausted. Maybe I would say it's called burnout. It's called burnout. I was burned out, and I was so tired of working in my shop by then. Like, I didn't even understand what was happening to me, but I was really not in a good space. And I told my husband one day, you know what, I want to go for a holiday. So he said, go. I took the flight and I went to India for a holiday. And there I'm saying, let me go for a checkup, because I don't get time in Mauritius. I'm so busy working. And when I went for that checkup, the doctor said, you need to be admitted. How did you even take a flight and come here? You could have collapsed. Your hemoglobin is 6.8. Get yourself admitted right now for 2 blood transfusions. And at that moment, I remember saying, what happened? Why is all this happening to me? Why I could not understand. And on that hospital bed, again, I made a decision. I'm going to find my happy me back. Because I used to be a very happy person. And this is when I came back to Mauritius. The moment you make a decision, the universe will bring something to you. You will manifest. And I manifested the opportunity to go for an entrepreneur success summit, which was being held by a Britisher in Mauritius. I had actually no idea of going there. It's my cousin who's like, let's go, let's go. He's a British consultant. We look up to the Britishers and the people of the West. So I said, okay, fine, let me go. I'm an entrepreneur anyway. And when we went there, he asked this question: what is your goal in life? Well, I'm going to ask the same question to all of you. You have a pen and paper right now in front of you. Write down your goal. What is it that you really want in your life? You've seen the 6 riches I've mentioned. All right? And you don't have to choose just one. You can choose anything you want. But what is the one thing that you want above anything else right now for your life? You don't need to do what I said, what I wanted, because you are unique to you. What do you want? And saying that you don't want anything doesn't help, because we all want something. Even if I just want peace of mind, that's something you want. What is the one thing that you want that is like burning desire in you, that enough is enough? You've reached that point. Enough is enough. What? Put it in the comments. Move to good things. The universe understands specific things. You want to be specific. Let's talk about income, because we all want to grow our income. This is something I know. How much income would be something that will make you happy? Like, what kind of income? Okay, you write whatever comes to you, to your heart. Financial freedom and abundance. Yeah, but you see, financial freedom and abundance is very relative. Like, there's some people for whom this is enough. There's some people for whom this is enough. Like, let's be specific. Let's write an amount that we want to be earning every month. Yes. Auntie Nilu, you are going to fly, skydive. I know you. You will do that. That's what you wanted to do once, remember? What is something you would want to do that will make you very, very happy? It'll make you happy. $10 lakhs per month. That's
you will believe what I'm saying?
Sorry?
You will believe what I'm going to say?
Tell me.
Yeah, I'm very content in my life. Very, very content. I've got everything.
Now, yeah. So when you are content in your life and you have everything, you should be going towards a bigger goal. Maybe not for you, maybe for others. Because one thing my mentor taught me is that we should never be contented in life. We should be very happy. We should be very grateful, but we should always be in a state of dissatisfaction. Who can tell me why? Can you tell me why, Auntie?
But on the contrary, sometimes when you read books and all that, they tell you, even Gita also, that you have to be content in life. For me, time has come. I am very content in life.
You can show me that verse that says we should be content?
Even in Gita also, the Lord says that you have to be content in life.
But the Lord told Arjuna wanted to run away from the war. He said, no, go and fight. You have to fight to uphold righteousness.
Maybe that was his goal.
Because if you don't fight, because Arjuna was a warrior by profession.
Yeah. Maybe that was his goal. Maybe that was his goal, right?
You know,
But
all of us are being
same,
directed towards
everybody has
our.
got different goals, right?
Yes, no two people will probably have the same goal.
Yeah, nobody. So my now last wish is, as long as I'm there, I should be on my feet, not dependent on anybody. That's all.
Okay, now I'm going to give you an exercise later today and to
Yeah.
answer it as honestly as you can. Okay?
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
That will come in some time. Okay.
Okay.
So when that mentor asked us, what is your goal in life? I'm happy to hear your goals, all of you. It's good, and put that on that paper in front of you. Write it down. Because a goal written down a lot more power than a goal just thought in the mind. His sentence when he set that goal, and mind you, I was in an entrepreneur success summit, and that was in 2009 or so, long back. And he said this: if you don't have a goal, you are not growing. And if you're not growing, you are dying because nothing rests in the universe. And I tell you, when I was in India, I had been diagnosed with something called hypothyroid. And when I asked the doctors, what does that mean? They told me your growth hormones are not working anymore. So when I heard this guy say this, that if you don't have a goal, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you are dying. As nothing rests in the universe, I was totally zapped by this sentence. I remember putting my pen down and thinking, what does the universe have to do with an entrepreneur's success summit? What's the connection between the two? And I'll tell you, I went home that day. I think I searched the whole of Google to find out. I typed this sentence there to find out what that meant. And I tell you, I couldn't understand it. I really couldn't understand it. Any one of you understand what this means? What does it mean to you? Anyone?
No, keep learning. That is different thing. That we should always keep learning.
Goal is to keep learning.
Yeah, that is true. But as far as my this is concerned, very happy and content in life. That I will say. Because wealth also, by the grace of God, I've got. This age 76 is still health is good. So keep on growing, keep on studying. That I agree with you.
Keep on studying, yes, that is good.
Even keep on growing also.
Because you have to keep on learning. Right?
That I totally agree with you. Every day we should learn.
So what do you understand by this? If you're not growing, you're dying. What does that mean?
Maybe this means that those who are not studying, those who are not growing, they are not learning. Maybe that is slow death. I mean, but if you are learning, you are happy, you are content in life. That is fine.
Okay, I get that. Anybody else would like to share?
Yeah, it is more of want to get into the next level of growth rather than saying there's a difference between greed and non-content things. Greed is something like
What is it?
I just want to have the clarity, like give the clarity on what is being asked. There is no when there is no cap or limit for the growth. Like I am saying, like I am satisfied with whatever thing I have. So there's two things. Like one is uncomfortable thing, and like I want to get into the next level of whatever current level I'm having. So that is the growth. It's not about greed. So greed is something like I don't want to do something with whatever I have. Still, I want to grow. So that is the difference. I think what Kavita is saying, like the growth.
You know, there's Mr. François here who gave a very simple answer. It's just like a tree. You have been blessed with a marvelous mind. That is the greatest gift bestowed to you by your Creator. All of us have a mind. All right. We grew up as human beings physically. From a little seed in our mother's womb, we became adults. Right? We grew up physically. Did you have to do anything to grow, or you just had to feed yourself with the right food and you kept on growing physically? Correct? Now, your next level of growth, which most of us are not aware of because this was not really taught to us, is that we have to plant new seeds in our mind to achieve something like the impossible. Why? Because if we are not going towards something that is impossible, we are going to start to regress in life. Life
It's
is
unknown
not
instead
meant.
of impossible.
Say that again.
We can say unknown instead of impossible.
Yeah,
Area.
unknown. Like you don't know how you are going to achieve it. Like what did I say? I'm going to change the whole education system in this country. Do I know how to do that? Do I even have a clue how to do that? I'm an entrepreneur. It was just out of satisfaction with my kids' school that I made such a statement. Did I have any clue how I was going to do that? Not at all. So that is a big goal that I want. It's called a vision, or it's called a big goal that is worthy of my existence on planet Earth. If I did not have to do this in the world, that thought only would not have come to me. That thought would never have come into my mind to say something like that. That dissatisfaction would not have come to me. So the next level of growth is actually not physical, but it is mental, towards understanding who you are truly as a spiritual being and what have you come on this planet to do. Every one of us has a purpose here. You are not born by coincidence. Your creator had a design for your life here on earth. You are meant for something. And you see this in nature. The closest we can go to understanding the laws of the universe, just look at nature. The honey bee has its purpose. The ant has a purpose. Every animal, everyone has a purpose. You plant a seed of a mango, it will reap mango fruits. How many fruits does it reap? Can you even count? That's the purpose of a seed of a mango tree. How many ideas can we plant in our mind of what we want to achieve in this world? Are we even thinking about that? I'll give you an example. I know one lady from Mauritius herself who, at her wedding, she could not get shoes her size because her feet are long. And for women, the standard was a certain size. So she couldn't get shoes her size. And at her wedding, she had to wear some slippers with a beautiful gown. So that made her make a declaration that day that I'm going to open shoe shops. I'm going to provide shoes of big sizes to women who have big feet, who are tall like me. And that's what she did in her life. She achieved that. Once you declare something that you're going to do, and it usually comes out of a state of dissatisfaction with your current results, the universe is going to conspire to help you bring it into the world. Thomas Edison. Who knows Thomas Edison? Anyone knows about him?
Yeah.
What did he bring to the world?
With this globe.
Light bulb. Was there any light bulb before that? How were we living? In darkness. But he wanted to do something that could illuminate the world. Your life's purpose most of the time comes out of your dissatisfaction with the status quo. So if we are not dissatisfied, if he was not dissatisfied with darkness, he would never have thought of the light bulb. And who is enjoying the light bulb? The world. How long did it take Thomas Edison to invent that light bulb? Anyone knows?
He tried 10,000 times.
10,000 times. And somebody asked him that question. What would you say about all the 9,999 failures?
And
He said those were not
that
failures.
is my different experience. I've never failed, but that was my different experiences.
Yes, he said those were the steps to invent the light bulb. How many of us will go past 3 failures? Do we? Each and every one of us has been given a gift to bring something into this world. But yet we were never taught in our education system that you are born and designed for something that is unique to you. What have our education system done? Put everybody in the same uniform, go to the same school, copy paste. The creativity is gone, completely gone. What happened to our creative side? We are made in the image and likeness of our creator. We are here to create. Are we creating? What are we creating? We are not here to fight each other. We are here to create something that is worthy of our existence over here. Does that make sense? I know it's a very different way of thinking because this was not taught to us in our education system. Was it taught to us? Did you go to school and your teachers told us, oh, what is your dream? What are you going to bring to the world? Are we talking like that to children? What did our teachers talk to us like that? No. Were we like, I know the warriors, like, let's say, for example, in the Bhagavad Gita, the princes, they were trained into archery. And that became, those days were different. Today is different. Today, you can tell, like, I know I have shops. My children don't want to work in my shops. They don't want. And who am I to tell them, no, you have to take over my shop? They may have their own dreams. Did I ever ask? I used to see that they were very, very creative. Both my kids are very creative. But then they got it from me, probably. So basically, we want to understand that each and every one of us has dreams that we have come with. And we are meant here to be here to live our own dreams. We are not here on this planet to live anybody else's dream. Now, it's a different thing if anybody wants to honor that or not honor that. Your spirit, your higher side is your spiritual side. It is always for fuller expression and expansion. It wants to achieve something. It's just like a child. I want this toy, I want that toy, I want this, I want that. And we are the only ones who are stopping ourselves from wanting because we've grown up in a society where we have always been told this is what you're supposed to do. Did our parents or grandparents ever ask us, what do you love to do? I wanted to become an actress, but I never ever imagined that would be possible for me. Because the society I grew up in was so conditioned to be academic. I did very well in school. I got very good grades. But was I happy? It came to a point in life where I said, now I'm going to live my dream. And I was probably 45 years old. I got a role as an actress in a movie, and I actually did it. I got the role of a mother. But still, I lived my dream. Many of us have forgotten our dreams because we were not even encouraged to have dreams. And this is what I learned in that moment, that you need to have an impossible dream, a vision for your life, something that's big, something that you don't know how to achieve, but you really, really want. Trust me, I had gone so deep into spirituality where we were taught, leave the material world, come to the spiritual world. I had literally given up on living life. Like I was like, no, I have to just be spiritual. There was no balance in that. it was not by accident that I developed hypothyroid, because I was not growing anymore. I was so going into spirituality, I was rejecting the material world. And today, if we don't have, today you tell a person who is in need of money to survive, you tell that person, oh, leave the material world, there's nothing there. Is it going to even make sense to that person? He has obligations. He has to feed his family. And this was a very confusing idea in my head. What did that mean? And I wanted to know what it meant. So at the same seminar, there was another question put to us. The coach drew 4 diagrams on the board, and he said, this is the employee category, this is the managerial person, this is a director, and this one is the business owner. And he asked all of us, raise your hand if you're a business owner. And I raised my hand. His next sentence was, if you have to work at your business, you don't have a business, you have a job. And that's the moment I realized that I was still here. Because I was working at my retail outlets every single day, and I was so tired. Prakash, you have a question? Prakash, did you raise your hand? Okay, I'm reading some of the chat here.
Yes.
Mission to help people live abundance of health, wealth, and happiness. Nice, nice. We all need to be on a mission here. We are all born to be on a mission, actually, but not what others are doing, what you want to do in your life. So I was saying that I discovered at that moment that I was not a business owner. I was still here. I was still a director in my company because I was working at it every day. And because he had asked us the question, what is your goal in life? And if you don't have a goal, you're not growing. I realized I was still a director. And I immediately said, I was not satisfied with being a director now, because I came to know there is more than that. And that became, he said, business owners are playing golf. They are not working at their business. They have people managing businesses for them. And that became my goal. I said, I really want that lifestyle. And that became my next dream. Your goal has to be like a dream come true. If it's not a dream, if people are not laughing at what you're saying you're going to do, it's not a good goal. So everyone should actually sit and think about this. And like Mr. Zafar, you said you're on a mission to do this. Is it something that you know how you're going to achieve? Do you know how you're going to achieve it?
This is a goal. In fact, this is a goal. This is why, and the how is something that's different. I mean, that's come with technology. That's through AI, or the growing technologies, or the new advancements in the science and technologies coming to your way. That's how you do that.
Exactly. So basically, the way will come to you. The way will be shown. Once you say, I'm going to do this, the way will be shown to you. It's like you take the first step and the red carpet starts to unfold. So you want to say things that are like really, really big, that my aim is to make people able to get financial freedom through AI and technologically, globally. My goal to earn at least this one. Good. Now, tomorrow I want all of you to be present, because if it was so easy to achieve that dream goal, we would have all been there. I would have been a business owner, not a director in my company. So why was I not there yet, is the question that had to come to my mind, right? And tomorrow we are going to discuss the cause of our results. Now, the only thing that will stir the universe and make the power work for you is your burning desire. You have to have a purpose, a direction in life. Where am I going? If we don't have a goal, we are usually going around in circles. We have to have that definite purpose. Why am I here? And at that time, I'll tell you honestly, I could not understand much from all these seminars. So eventually, it came to a point of such dissatisfaction that my son, 14-year-old son, one day came and told me, Mama, I hate the sound of your voice now. That was it. That was my breaking point. That's that day I said, I'm going to find my son's happiness back. And I invested in a coaching. I took back control over my mind in 2 months. What I had said when I had read about Napoleon Hill, that the one who takes control of his mind is going to open the envelope of riches. I had read that prayer, and that prayer manifested with the coaching I invested in. So there are things we have all said to ourselves, and the universe is conspiring to make it happen for you. All you have to do is focus on it. So I'm here to tell you all that you are all born rich. Can you please mute? Somebody is talking. So everyone is born rich. You are all born rich. All we have to do is to grow aware of it. And when I say rich, I mean in all riches, not just money. If a person has only money and no health, is he really rich? No, in my opinion, no. Health is your first wealth. So this is going to be a homework that I'm going to give you all. And tomorrow we are going to continue with what keeps us stuck. Because once you have your goal defined, then the next level will be to understand what's holding you back from achieving that. And once you know what's holding you back, then you can break free. So the first thing is, what is your dream income goal? Let's talk about income, because that's one thing that we are all trading our time for, right? We are all trading our time for the income that we earn. And our time is our most precious resource. We are all on borrowed time here. We are not going to live forever. But we are here to do something that will last forever. Leave a legacy when you go. So what is your dream income goal? That's one. Why do you want to achieve that dream income goal? Just saying, I want more money, that doesn't work. You have to have a very strong, my desire was my son's happiness. That was non-negotiable to me. That was something I wanted, and I wanted means I wanted. I was not going to listen to anything, not even myself. You have to be persistent here. And are you willing to do all it takes to achieve your dream goal? Because it's your dream goal. And it's, there's no such thing as a free lunch here in the universe. You have to sacrifice something to get what you want. If somebody wants to become let's say, the number one football player, they have to train every day to become that football player. Not everybody wants to become a football player, but the person whose desire is to become a football player, he wants to every day train to get there. And he will do it because that's his goal. And what are you willing to give back to the world once you achieve your dream income goal? We are not here to just grow. We are here to grow and serve. And I don't believe in giving charity. If I were to ask you, when you give poor people money, are you really helping them? Can anybody tell me that?
No, not exactly. It's like, it's about art of. There are two things. One is you are giving fish, and otherwise you are teaching fishing. So fishing is better than training fishes. Fish giving fish.
Exactly. If you rather than fish, teach them how to fish. And you know what? This is what my mentor did to me. He did not do anything for me. He told me, "You've got a mind. Think how you can come out of your situation. And it was not easy because I could not see anywhere how I'm going to find my happiness back, how I'm going to find that, come out of that suffering. But I was forced to use my mind because most of us are using only 3% of our mind's power. 97% is lying dormant, and you have the power to achieve anything you want. You can be, do, have, give anything you want, but you have to start thinking. This is what makes you, this is what helps people leave a legacy in the world. That's how Bob Proctor today is known as a legacy. He was a fireman. He was in debt all his life, not all his life, up to the age of 26 until he got so sick and tired of being in debt. Then somebody, a mentor, gave him the book Think and Grow Rich to read. He never stopped reading that book. For 60 years he read that book because he became rich. Just by educating his mind with knowledge that was kept hidden for so many years, knowledge of the people who are already successful. So that homework of yours now, you will go to the replay and see it and write it down. And I want you to describe one day of your rich life with the assumption that you're already enjoying time, money, freedom in your life. You already achieved the goal you said you want. You've already achieved it. How will you describe one day in your life? You know, you are the hero of your own life. It's your life script. Everyone has a unique life script. How are you spending your time daily now that you are free? Now that you are blessed, how are you spending that one day? Can you describe it? Does it make you happy? Does it feel fulfilling? You know, Tony Robbins has a very nice quote where he says, success without happiness is failure. And then after some years, he came up with another quote. He said, success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. We are not just here to grow and be rich. We are here to be rich and then serve others, become rich. And we can only serve with one thing, our gift. What are you gifted? What is your gift? Every one of us has one gift. You want to think about that. What is worthy of your existence on planet Earth? And it doesn't matter how old you are. The day you decide that, okay, I'm going to do something that I really love, because you will become a gift to others. And you will see for yourself how fulfilling that feels. So now, questions. Anyone? Was it clear?
Yeah, it was really fulfilling and educational. Academically, it was strong, and you got, since you yourself you're an entrepreneur, so it gives a lot of sense to what you say, and your experience, as long as your business comes along, that you have had international exposure also, so that makes a lot of sense, and it gets a lot of, and it gets us energy too. Back to you.
Any questions, Mr. Zafar?
And not exactly, maybe another third session.
Okay. If you have questions, write them down. Anyone has any questions? Anyone? I'm here to answer all the questions you have. You should be having lots of questions, because when you have questions, that's when you're like curious, you want to know more, and that's how we keep growing in life.
Well, I have a question regarding mindset. Everything starts with mindset. I mean, we are where our mindset has taken us to. The level of exposures we have, level of experience we have, observation, or maybe the success we have. It's just because of our mindset, and followed by the input we've done it and we have given it. as in the form of energy and force. And my question is, how do we eliminate those old thinkings, the scarcity mindset that you were referring to just in the beginning of your lecture?
You see, this is the reason we need to have that goal. You want to understand that you cannot fight all your paradigms, the limited beliefs. You cannot fight that. They're already there, right? So there is a quote by Buckminster Fuller who says, "You do not fight the existing reality. You plant a new seed that creates a new reality." When you are so focused, like this is why writing down your goal, your big goal, is very, very important. Why? Because we are going to go into the energy of everything on day three. But for now, you want to understand that everything is energy. And where you put your attention and focus, that is going to expand. So if you don't have a very strong goal that you really, really want, the purpose of having that goal is to help you uproot yourself from all your limited beliefs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Because you cannot focus on that and you're limited. The more you focus on your limited beliefs, the more you're giving them power, and they will keep growing. And a lot of us do not even know that we have limited beliefs, because tomorrow I'm going to explain the source of your limited beliefs. If you want to get results that stick, then you want to go to the source and uproot it from there. It's not an easy thing to do. And I'm going to tell everybody on day three, I'm going to make you an offer to work with me, because I know I could not have done it by myself, because you cannot see your own limited beliefs. They came, if you believe in past lifetime, they came from past lifetime, or they came in your little life. But they are there. No one is exempt from it. We are all born in ignorance, how we say, or we are all born in bondage. And the purpose is this lifetime that we have is a gift from our Creator to go from bondage to freedom. And that kind of freedom is like a wow, you know. I never thought this is a possibility, but it is. I'm a living proof of it. So when tomorrow, please don't be absent, because every lesson will build on the next lesson. All right?
Yeah, sure.
Let me mute some people. Any other questions?
Ones need to change or not, and then you do the outside.
Inamasi, can you please mute?
1 second. Sorry.
Okay, now I can mute you. Yeah. Any other questions? Anyone?
The first thing
If something was not clear, please ask.
I have to make a comment on the limiting belief. It is one I have been hearing and following the AI inventors also. What they say, I mean, it is not difficult and tough to invent something, some new technologies, or be it any. But I mean, the toughest thing is to change the mindset. So this is again, I mean, this is all about all about our limiting belief. This the toughest thing is to change the
Tomorrow,
thinking. We have our belief, we don't change. I'll be listening to you, I'll be understanding this, but I mean, I'll not be changing. I mean, that's the toughest thing that I face from myself also. I mean, it's not from others. When I'm talking about abundance, I'm teaching abundance, I'm talking about a lot about abundance, but somebody from within myself say, no, 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 this can't happen. No, this is, it is very difficult to, I mean, snap yourself and shut yourself up, and I mean, educate yourself. This is too tough, too tough. I mean, this is tougher than, I mean, making others understand. The day the champion does not become the champion, the day he or she like hold the trophy in her or his hand. But I mean, he or she becomes a champion the day they. I mean, maybe 5 years earlier, 4 years, 3 years earlier, the moment they decide that they are champion, nobody knows them. I mean, it's not the day. So I mean, that's very difficult to overcome your own limiting belief. That's the whole
It is
problem the whole
difficult.
world is facing. I mean, why we are
You know,
fighting for. This is the real
yes.
reason we are fighting. This is the real
It,
scarcity of mindset. So that
tomorrow
I
I'm
would
going
love
to
to learn
teach.
about this. Yeah.
Tomorrow I'm going to teach only about the mind, and I'm going to teach how we can manage, how we are all manifesting our results, because the law of attraction is always working. How we are manifesting, and what is stopping us from manifesting. Both I will be discussing both tomorrow. Paradigms and manifestation. So tomorrow's lesson is the most important one. It's only on the mind. And change is the law of life that is there. We cannot stay in one place. But we have to understand that we are made up of energy, all of us. Our body is in a constant state of movement, vibration, otherwise, it would not decompose. So, we want to understand that our bodies are only instruments of our mind. And we can control this vibration by controlling the mind. And once we start to raise our vibrations, we can only attract good stuff. But to raise the vibration, it's very, very important to first set your goal right. Because, like how you said, it's very difficult. It is very difficult. I'm going to tell you, it's like facing fear head on. Okay? But if you face it, you will develop courage. You will develop your faith. The fact that we say faith, faith is something that is very, very misunderstood in the world because most of us have blind faith. This is not blind faith anymore. This is faith based on the understanding of what it is to break free from our limiting beliefs. So be here tomorrow for the lesson is only going to be on the mind, but don't forget to go through the homework of today and set your goal. And don't be logical about setting your goal. I want you to think like a child because the provider is the universe. So you want to think of, have an emotional connection to your goal that, like I have shops over here, and when I see children come to my shop, they want all the toys that are in my shop. They don't have even a single doubt how will their parents pay for it. It's just like when a child is asking Santa Claus for a toy, the child doesn't logicalize and say, will Santa Claus be able to give me this toy? No, he just asks. So like that, if that I can use that word bindas, just be open and free and ask for what you want. Because I think God thinks that nobody's asking him for anything. Because people don't think they should ask. So be very clear on the goal. That's the first step. And you have to have an emotional connection with the goal. I cannot even tell you how today my son is back after 8 years from living abroad and he's helping me in my business. I cannot even tell you what joy that has brought to my life. Because for me, my family comes first. My children, I felt as a mother, I'm responsible for their well being. All right, then. So we are done for today. I will see you all tomorrow. Please do your homework. And if somebody doesn't want to do their homework, then probably this is not the right platform for you. But if you really want to grow and achieve success in life, then do your homework, show up for it. All right. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time. Bye
Thank,
bye.
thank you, and congratulations for having your kid back.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. This was Kavita Ramchand and her first day of his 3 days workshop. Thank you and see you tomorrow.